Hey guys, before we get started with today's episode, I just want to say thanks again for listening to the Self Storage Show. And as a special thank you, I put together a really cool, unique challenge for those in the self storage industry. Rather than me having going on about it, just go to this domain and check it out. It's theselfstoragechallenge.com. So the big question is this: how are those in the self storage industry like us going to be successful in today's market? That's the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is Jim Ross, and welcome to the Self-Storage Show. Hi everyone, this is Jim Ross on the Self-Storage Show, and this edition, a little special, we got the video edition here going, having a speaker spotlight series for the upcoming ISS World Expo show in Vegas. So today I got Frank Certo from the Director of Operations for Store Express. How's it going, Frank?
It's going great. Thanks for
Good.
having me.
Yeah, congrats on being selected for being a speaker.
Thank you.
You've done it a few times, it sounds like, huh? So you're well
Yeah, I
practiced at it.
have. I have a little experience with it. It's a great opportunity and great chance to get in front of a lot of very excited and interested people about this industry, which continues to evolve and is a great lot of fun.
I know, it seems like every year it just keeps growing and growing and growing, so it's great.
Yeah, I came into the industry in 05, '06 time, and we were kind of heading into some economic times that weren't so great, and a lot of states around were struggling. And I was in Pittsburgh the whole time, and we kind of always found that Pittsburgh is a town that's behind to times to some extent. So we didn't really have much of the boom, and so therefore we didn't have much of the bust. And so we were really able to be aggressive and navigate through that, and we learned a lot. And then I saw this last 10 years where the cycle's been crazy in this industry, and in some ways we're sort of maybe I don't want to say that we're right and headed down that same path we had in '08. I don't want to say that, but
Yeah.
you've definitely seen some flattening, and you've seen competition that's way more aggressive and more sophisticated than it was then. So interesting times.
Oh yeah. No, it's you kind of see the same patterns that are
Hmm.
reoccurring, but it's not the same game it was
No,
10 years ago.
no.
So,
Hmm.
and that's kind of where you're talking about here. I know you're discussing some revenue management
Hmm.
techniques and then things like that. And that's when it comes to these speeches and these kind of presentations, especially for revenue management. Man, if I can just get one little gold nugget that I can put into my operations, it makes all the difference in the world. So
Yeah,
this these kind of presentations is, yeah, pay attention because it only takes one little thing that you like. Oh, that's good,
that's it.
and tend
That's
to
it.
implement it. So yeah, that's why I wanted to have you on to kind of give us a little taste of what your presentation is going to be talking about here.
Great. Well, my view on revenue management, and again, I've my experience in this industry for a couple different operators has always been in that I guess we consider ourselves a large operator because we have more than 10 stores, but we're small enough that we really have to be. We do some of these things manual, slowly but surely. There's automated processes coming in, more and more vendors creating software, making this easier. But we're not big enough to have proprietary software. Maybe some of the operators can't even afford to have some of the more expensive software programs that automate this. So you have to have this holistic approach where you have everyone with a hand in the pile, if you will. And I really look at it like that. It's a holistic thing that starts with the manager. It starts with the
Yep.
bringing the right people aboard that can understand the big picture and have a real sense of running a business and being a business partner with you, with their team, with you, and understanding that filling the place up is important, but we have to do it at the right rates, it's the right unit at the right price, as they say. And I have to figure out where my strategies will get that equilibrium where I have the right occupancy, but I can still drive revenues. And it's more than just rates. It's promotions. It's existing customers. It's ancillary products. It's the manager's ability to understand that and put it all together. So that's kind of the way we look at it.
Yeah, and to me, it comes down to a lot with communication, especially on the manager level. Because if they're not behind it, I mean, you've been there, you've done that, you've seen it. You know, a
Hmm.
manager can make or break the site. You know, and
No question.
if they're not on board with the philosophy of revenue management and why, not just how you're doing it, but why you're putting it in place, that's what makes all the
Hmm.
difference in the world.
Yeah, no question. I know you've had folks on here that have talked about the evolution of the storage manager and how
Yeah.
that, the older philosophy was just give me a smile or just give me a caretaker, just
Yep.
give me somebody who I can trust to be there every day on time. And those days are over. The customer experience is being driven by other industries. It's being driven quickly. And even though storage is a laggard industry, which is great, we get a chance to see what works and doesn't work from other industries, but the experience is being evolved so much that customers expect. They expect to be able to do business with you online whenever they want. They
Oh
expect
yeah.
that you're going to have a high quality service. They expect that you're going to um, be able to differentiate your product. And we're also finding, this is interesting as we just passed the holidays, that specialized products are really high, whether it's the little boutique hotel or the foodie restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
or even clothing. That it's not good enough just to have one article of clothing that covers a wide spectrum. Now I have to have five because one specializes in one thing or another. So
Hmm.
um, we find in the consumer market that people are willing to pay for that specialty. They're willing to pay for an upgraded service. The airlines have proven this over the years that the dynamic pricing model those guys have used, where it's not about whether you think the seat's more valuable; it's whether the customer does. And if they think it is, and there's an implied value, they'll pay for it. And my job's not to tell you what you think's valuable. My job is to offer you opportunity and let you tell me.
Yeah.
And we're finding that that's what's working for us.
Yeah. Kind of break that down a little bit. I mean, when you say dynamic pricing model, what do you mean by that?
Well, there's differentiation of your product is something that's, again, it's been around a long time. Um, Here in Pittsburgh, I'm a Pirate fan, and I
Yeah.
recognize whether I want to or not that it's going to cost me more to go see the St. Louis Cardinals than it is to see the San Diego Padres, because the St. Louis Cardinals are in my division and they're always a rival, and so people want to see that game. And so they're willing to pay more to go see that game. It's going to cost me more to see a game on Saturday than it would on Tuesday. And they're going to have all kinds of specials, and they're going to give me a free hot dog and let my dog come to the game on Tuesday, but on Saturday I'm going to pay top dollar. And those things, when they first were introduced, there might have been a little, that's unfair. But now it's so mainstream, you don't even think about it. You just know, you just build it into your budget. You know it's going to happen, and you
Sure.
just take it in stride. Well, the same kind of thing can happen in the industry that we're in. There's perceived value in where a unit's at, or what floor it's on, or what amenities it comes with. There's ability folks have to crunch data where they can recognize how often you're using the property. And if you're the type of, here at Store Express, we not only have self storage, but we also do specialty space. We have contractor units and studio spacing for artists and bands and some fun stuff.
Really? That's
Those,
cool.
yeah, those people are obviously using the space, honestly, not even for storage, but they're using it a lot more often. They're there every day. They might be conducting business out of it. So those are people
Huh.
that not only the size of the space, but the usage potentially warrants them to pay additional fees on things, or just a higher price for that unit, and they're willing to pay for it. So, again, some of the modern software might allow you to plug all that data in and
Mm-hmm.
spit out some numbers for you, and they're very powerful, and there's the right play for some portfolios. But for smaller ones like ours, we kind of have to rely heavily on the manager's sales skills and their ability to differentiate and create that implied value where they'll show that customer that really um, that really valuable unit that's right by the dock, or that's right in the ideal spot in the building. And they might bring him into it where, let's just check it out and see if this is the right size for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks great. And this is in our climate control. It's nice and toasty in here. It's nice and cool in here, whatever time of the year it is. And then they'll say, well, now let's go take a look at that unit we looked at on the internet. And maybe that's on the second floor in the back somewhere. And then they go, hey, what about that unit up there? Well, so that's how the conversation and the sales gets involved.
Yeah.
And you're creating that value, and some customers will pay for it.
So you kind of go along
Absolutely.
that model of having like a price value online, and that one might be the second floor type of a thing. But once they're there, then you kind of start drilling down to what's going to be a good fit for your needs.
It's funny because I think just like, again, like the airlines do,
Yeah.
when you go, there's a lot of information, right? So when you go buy a ticket and you want to fly from Florida for the summer or whatever,
Ooh, that sounds nice.
they keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
So, the plane leaves at this time and arrives here. It comes back at that time and arrives there. Here's the ticket price. Once you say, I like that itinerary, great. Now you start to drill into, okay, let's pick your seat. How many bags do you want to bring? Do you want peanuts? Well, you find out that if I'm in the middle seat, it costs me X. If I'm on the end seat, it costs me Y. And then you can decide whether that's valuable to you or not. But they keep it simple in the initial presentation. And this is one thing, again, it's funny how this industry is evolving. We can see it in our marketplace and in others where there's a struggle of operators to figure out, how do I create this dynamic pricing understanding on the internet, for example? Because I look at some portfolios and I look at some of our competitors, okay? And they're very, very nice properties. They're well-run organizations. And then I look at the website, and I know from my perspective, if I was looking for a place to stick Christmas decorations, a 5x5, a 5x10, I've got 19 choices on their website. That's confusing. I can't figure out what's going on. And they have different prices of them on the third floor, the first floor. I can't tell what that, because I don't know anything. So I don't know what size I need. I don't know anything about storage.
Sure.
But now you've given me so many choices, I don't know what to choose. So clearly I'm going to probably choose the least expensive and cross my fingers and hope that means something.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we are trying to simplify the process and use a presentation on the internet, on the web, which is where so many people are finding you these days. Even if they know you're in the neighborhood, they're going to the web to find your number. So we're trying to create a presentation that's simple, where we're only listing common sizes and we're only listing one of that size. Let's say we're not getting into the various types we have and which floor they're on and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then we're using a process of how it's presented on the web is exactly how our sales staff presents it. And we all know in this industry, the mission is to get the customer in the door, because still so many people have never used the product. Once they get in your door, they get a chance to figure out and see what's going on. They see the quality of the operation.
Yeah.
They see the amenities you have, your curb appeal. They meet your manager, who's the most important person in the whole place. And then you get a chance, once they've committed to coming in and once they're here, and now you can take them on a tour, now you can start to expand your product offerings, and now you can present the value, because now that they're here, they can see why this unit is more valuable. So if I'm sitting at my computer with some of my competitors and I realize that the difference in price between that unit on the third floor and the first floor, let's say, could be $15. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know anything. So they're making me, I guess, like I said, that's where the struggle comes in, because we don't want to miss out. I can remember when websites, there were no prices on the web, and managers and owners were reluctant to put their prices on the web because they were afraid they were going to have to sell everything at that rate.
Yep.
But at the same time, if you don't have the rates on the web, now nobody will even look at you. So how do I play this game where I give you information, but I don't give you too much information to make you confused, but I give you enough information to show you that I'm sophisticated and I have a lot.
Yep.
So it is a constant, like I said, there's several levers that you have to pull, and we're working our way through it too.
You said a key word right there, as far as you don't want to make it confusing, because a confused mind is not going to take any action.
Absolutely. 100%. The folks, generally, we all know this. People don't really know the product. I mean, I'm sure there's data to support this, and I think we all understand that the newest generation, the millennial generation, they've grown up with it, for the most part, with storage in the neighborhood. And it wasn't mom and pop storage, which was garage doors over the side of a hill behind a chain link fence.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was much nicer stuff. So they've seen these A-plus properties around. Whether they know what goes on in that building or not, or they've ever used storage or their parents ever have, at least it's not foreign. So you have at least a little bit of an understanding of the product, but it's not like buying a TV. I walk into Best Buy, I already know what I'm looking for, generally speaking. I don't need your
Mm-hmm.
help that much, and I probably don't even want it. I want to go right to the TV I want. But that's not the case in this industry. They need our help. They need that. They appreciate an expert
Yep.
from a consultation standpoint. So,
Yep. It's not a self-storage manager in that case. It's a self-storage consultation, basically. Is what it boils down to. You're a
mhm.
counselor. You're helping guide them to
Yeah,
what is a good fit for them.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. And again, that's the evolving of the customer and the customer experience where you're seeing when I first came into this business,
yeah.
we had evolved from mini warehousing and all that stuff. We were in the self storage, and really the mentality was you don't expect much, you don't get much. I mean, we've added some amenities. We've got climate control, we've got security, we've got carts and dollies, we've got covered loading, but it's still self storage. Like, you do it whatever you got to do, right? It's at your own risk, and that's scary. But that's that was the pitch. And over this time, we've seen this revolve into not just even a retail business now, but a concierge business. I expect to walk in and be greeted with someone with an iPad. Let me put you in the queue while you shop my moving and packing supplies and that kind of thing, just like what I would expect when I walk into some more modern retail outfits.
Sure.
And because that's what the customer expects, whether we like it or not, we have to evolve because that's what they expect. So you see some of these operations where they still try to do business the way they want to do it, and I get it, but you're not the most important thing out there. It's the customer. So
Nope, that's great. I totally believe 100%. That's exactly it. It's the customer experience. It's
mm-hmm.
training the managers. It's getting the right look on the website to make sure it's not a confused mind, to let them give the manager the opportunity to be able to sell them the
Mm-hmm.
right type of unit. Again,
That's
this
right.
this is only a little fraction, I'm sure, of what you're going to be getting into. When we talk revenue management, there's a whole world of different
It's
things that you can get
all the
into.
time. Yeah,
And we could probably have a whole presentation for days and days just on revenue
yeah.
management on different techniques.
It's coming. I'm sure there's going to be a whole breakout extra day on just different revenue
Yeah,
techniques.
that'd be great.
Come on, ISS. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Well, little tip there. Anyway, do you know what day you're speaking?
I think I'm speaking Thursday, so I'm thinking. I know I speak at 10 a.m.
Oh,
It's the
nice.
second day.
Oh, perfect.
So
Well,
I'm pretty sure I'm speaking on either Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember. I think it's Wednesday now. Wednesday at 10.
nice. Well, again, when people are there, I mean, again, you got the sessions, you got the speakers and all that kind of stuff, the networking. It's a great event to go to. So hopefully we wanted to advertise a little bit for people to watch this, and I'll make sure to make sure they'll watch when you're speaking and attend
Yeah,
your presentation.
sounds good. That sounds like a great opportunity to share some information and knowledge. I love that conference because there's so many people there that are so enthusiastic about this industry. A lot of them are younger, smaller operators,
Yep.
maybe not quite the size. They need all the information to try to put it all into that kind of crock pot and make sure their operation is as efficient and successful as possible. So it's a lot of information to share and it's fun.
No, it's great. So it's one of those things where sometimes in the storage industry, sometimes we get in our own little bubble and that kind of thing, in our own little world. It's great to go to these kind of conferences and be able to meet like-minded people, and
Mm-hmm.
just like we're doing right now, start talking. And it takes one little thing of that's a good idea.
That's
Come
right.
back and implement it in your own business, and you're off
Yeah,
to the races.
that's right.
All good. Well, thanks so much
Best
for.
practices. A lot of fun.
Yep. Oh, great. Well, thanks so much for taking the time, Frank.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Great. I'll see you at the show.
Okay, great.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.